Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In our last couple of videos, we've been making Jill and Leon, and in this video, we're going to make the teeth for Jill and Leon. As you can see, I'm inside of a new document here, and the reason for that is I'm only going to make one set of teeth that I'm going to use for both models. Now, this is a very common practice. Typically in a studio, you will make a set of eyes, a set of hands, a set of feet, a set of teeth, maybe an ear, that you can reproduce for all of your characters and just tweak as you need. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to make one set of teeth and we will use them for both models. So let's start out with a cylinder. I'm going to hit F to frame on that. I'll jump into, let's see, channel box here, and I'll adjust the cylinder. Maybe I'll set the height to 1. That's like 1 centimeter, by the way. Radius, I'm just going to dial that in visually. So I'm middle mouse dragging to get the radius. Make sure you grab the word there. And I'm dialing that up to about 10. I think that's good. And then the number of subdivisions, I'm going to keep it at about 20. I think that's fine there. And let's go ahead and start shaping this up. I'm going to go to a top view, jump into face selection. I'm going to select the back row and then delete. Go into a perspective view here. Let me go and grab edge mode. I'll get this top edge and this bottom edge. Hold shift, hold right click, and let's go ahead and do a bridge. Very good. I'm going to go into face selection. I'm going to grab these back faces here, hit extrude. I'm just going to pull that out straight. And I'll go ahead and just snap it to the grid there by holding X and then dragging. There we go. Okay, so now we have this structure. I'm going to go into object mode here, and I want to create some subdivisions going this way. So I'll go up to Mesh Tools, come down to Insert Edge Loop. I'll grab the box here. Inside here, I want to set it to multiple, and let's start with 3. Go ahead and click on the edge. And I think that's pretty good. It's about the same spacing. Okay. Now, the average mouth has about 32 teeth. We're not going to make all 32. We're just going to make enough so it looks convincing. So I'm going to go ahead and create a duplicate. So Control D to duplicate. This is going to be our backup. I'm going to go ahead and select our duplicate here and hit H to hide it. Okay. I'm going to take the original and let's go into a top view. I'm going to grab edge selection. Now let's go ahead and grab all the edges. I already have them all grabbed, but I'll go ahead and do it again. So I'll grab all the edges here. And then I want to remove the center line. So I'm going to go ahead and hold Control and then double click this edge. And that's going to get rid of this edge here. It's going to go all the way through and just make sure it's deselected. Let's go ahead and hold down the Shift key and hold down right click. We will now connect components. That's going to give us a nice slice all the way through. And this is going to be the basis of our gums. So I'll go into edge selection here. I'll double click this. Hopefully that gets top and bottom. It does. Go into a top view and get my scale tool. Let's turn off symmetry. And then I'll double click the line again. That way I get a center selection. And I'll just go ahead and just scale this up. And then I will widen this just to get a nice clean deformation there. I'm not going to worry about the back. I can just straighten that out. So these, and then scale. If any edges bother you, you can do the same thing. So I can just double click that, holding shift, and then I can scale it. Double click this edge, scale, that one, and then that one. Looks like I missed this one. Get all those, and I'll just scale again. Okay. So now I have the base for our gums. I'll go ahead and select this. Hold shift. Double click over here. And that should give us a loop through. I'm going to deselect the back by holding Control and then clicking. Okay, just make sure you don't have any bottom ones or anything on the back. And we're going to use this for the gum line. I'll hit extrude. I'll pull that up. And then I'll hit the scale icon here, and then I'll scale this in using the middle down here. So again, hit that, grab the middle, scale in. And I'm going to extrude one more time. I'm going to go up just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to go down to keep faces together. I'll hit the little on to turn that off. And we'll scale again. And that's going to give us the little curvature between all the gums. And I'll go ahead and pull the arrow down to create the pockets for the gums. And I'll continue to shrink that. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to go into edge selection. And if you were to hit 3 at this point, you can kind of see the pockets here. Like so. But I want to make this a little bit more noticeable. Let's go to edge selection here. I'm going to grab the middle of each tooth. Now let's turn on symmetry just to match. And I want to bevel that edge. So I'm going to go hold shift, hold right click. Let's bevel. And then I'm going to go ahead and just click out and then go into face selection. Let's grab the middle faces of each of these. And if I pull those up, you can see we get the gum that goes in between each tooth. Pretty handy. So I go back to object mode, and this is what we got. All right, let's go ahead and start forming the teeth. So we have this little tooth chart. These aren't super accurate, but they're close enough. We're just going to make the caps of each tooth. We don't need to make the roots. Okay? We just need the big white piece that sticks out. I'll go ahead and make a cube. Let's pull that in. And I'll position it about where I want that tooth to be. So just go over this one. Hit F to frame. That way I can maneuver around it. Just tuck it into the tooth, or into the gum here. And I'll just shape it up however I want it to be. So if you look at the row of front teeth, we have 4 small front teeth, and then up top we have 4 bigger front teeth. So we're going to make the small ones first, and then we're going to flip it, and we'll make the big ones. I'm going to press 4 to go into wireframe. I'm going to select that bottom. Whoops. There we go. And grab the bottom of that. And I can turn symmetry off. Try that again. I can just dial that in, and that'll get me the angle on that tooth, and I'll even pull the back side down a little bit. So now I have one of the incisors. And I will rotate this so that it fits the alignment of that pocket. So just rotate it in there. And then like the height of each tooth is dependent on the mouth that you're making. Some people have really big teeth. Some people have really small teeth. So it just all depends. And then I'll make a duplicate of this, Control D, and I'll move this over into this pocket. Okay. I'm going to go into my perspective view. To scale these, I'm going to hold down the R key, hold down right click here and grab Object for scaling, and that will position the scale widget oriented to the object. And I can just widen these. Adjust the height. Same thing over here. Let's go ahead and make the next tooth. Control D to duplicate. I'll move this one over. So we have our 2 incisors here. We're going to make the little canine. Move it, rotate it in position. You can have big canines, small canines. It's up to you. To get the pointiness of the canine, I'm going to split this. So I'll get my multi-cut tool. And then I'll hold down Control. And then just kind of put a cut in the middle there. Go into vertex selection. And I will grab the end of that middle and then just pull it out. And I got a little pointier tooth. Next one over, we have our premolars. So I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate, move this over, rotate it. So if we look at the premolar, kind of like here, it's about the same shape as the canine, but it has a middle pocket. We probably won't ever actually see it, but if you look up top here, so like in this mouth here, you can kind of see it. So these are kind of flat, and then you got the canine, and then the molar. So premolars and big molars. So here, it's going to be a little bit flatter. But I'm going to move the backside up a little bit more. And I want to split this way so that I can build that little dent in the middle. So edge mode, I'll grab these, and I'll pull that in. Go into object mode, I'll hit the scale tool, and I'll just widen that. We got two of them. So Control D to duplicate. And I'm going to go ahead and hold down W, hold left click. I'll go into object for the movement. That'll just make it a little bit nicer to move that. And then I'll rotate it into position and check it. And then back here we start to have our molars. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one, Control D to duplicate, I'll just move it over. Now our molars are generally a bit bigger, so I'm going to go into my top view here. I'll hit 4 for wireframe, just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit nicer, and I'll just move this into position. I'll adjust the scale, and I'll make it wider. Let me check. Yeah. And these next ones, I'm just going to duplicate, Control D, I'll just move it over, Control D, move it over. And I don't need to put this one all the way in the back, although you can if you want to. If you've had your wisdom teeth removed like me, you'll just have a pocket back there. So, okay. So here are our rough teeth. We don't have to have perfect teeth here, unless you're doing like a movie trailer or something and you have to like get a really close-up mouth. These are all probably just fine. Now I'm going to take the mouth here. I'm going to go up to UV editor. And I'm going to save my work before I do any UV work. So I'll go to File, come down to Save As. And then inside here, I'm just going to call this Teeth. So from here, I'm going to do the top view. So I'll go to Create. Make sure you have this selected in Object Mode. Create. Let's go down to Planar. I'll hit the option box. And I'll do the projection from Y. Hit Project. That's going to give us a top view of our teeth, or our gums anyway. And then I'm going to go into Edge Selection. I'm going to select this edge, hold Shift, double click it. Just go up to this edge, double click. That should go all the way through. Okay. And then back here, I'm going to go ahead and select these, like so. Press 1 just to see the rough view. That looks pretty good. I'm going to hold down, I'm going to jump back into UVs here. Okay, jump back in. If it doesn't refresh, just kind of click to pop it back up. And then I want to do a UV cut. So I'm going to come down to Cut and Sew. Choose Cut. That's going to separate this line. Hold right click, go to UV. I'll just double click this. And that should separate my top and bottom, like so. And then I do need to unfold these. So I'm going to grab them both. And then I'll come down to Unfold, and I'll hit Unfold. And we'll get something like that. And I want to get the teeth on here as well. Luckily, our teeth have very similar shapes, so if I just grab this guy, you can see the layout here, but this does not really match the tooth, so I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab all my teeth. Mouth box is okay. I'll come up to edit, let me go ahead and delete by type, I'll do history. And then, since these have scales attached to them, I'm going to go ahead and modify and then freeze transform, so I'll get the box here. Just make sure transform, rotate, and scale are selected and hit freeze. That's going to give us pretty clean results over here, and then I can do an automatic. So create automatic, and there's that tooth. And then for this one, I'm just going to very quickly just sew these back together. So this and that, I'll do, go to cut and sew, I'll hit stitch together. And that's fine there. I'll get this side, I'll stitch together. That's good. I'll grab that side, I'll stitch together. It doesn't really matter if it moves, you're going to end up with something like this anyway. And then I'll get, let me do the bottom back end of that, and I'll hit stitch. So here's a tooth, UV'd, and it's already unfolded. These two teeth are the same, so I'm going to go ahead and go to object mode. I'm going to grab this one, edit, delete by type, history. I'm going to select the tooth next to it, and we're going to transfer the UVs. So I'm going to go up to mesh, transfer attribute, hit the options. Go ahead and just reset this real quick. So the thing that we care about in here is to check component, and then we can hit apply. And you'll see that our UVs now match. So this one and that one have the same UVs. Whenever you transfer components, you need to clear history. So I'm going to go up to edit and then delete by type, history. And then I'll grab this guy. We'll create automatic. And this one actually came out a bit weird. So if yours did this, we're going to make a change. I'm going to go ahead and just grab all those. Go to create, come down to automatic, hit the box. And I want to use less distortion here. And then hit apply, and there it goes. So the last, when it was like this, we have areas that are on top of each other. So that face is on top, see that? But there's one on the back side, and I can't quite get it. That's why I'm doing that. So again, just project that again. It should give you separate pieces. Edge mode here. I'll go ahead and just sew these together. So I'll grab that, and I'll hit stitch. Grab that side, I'll hit stitch. That side, I don't want to sew those, so that's good. Let me go ahead and get this one. I'll hit stitch. And I'm just looking for things that connect each other. Don't want to do that, don't want to do that, don't want to do that, don't want to do that. I want to connect this somewhere. I'll just stitch both of those. Cool. And then I'm going to go ahead and select this one. Same deal, create automatic, and then I will just grab some edges. I'll stitch these together, stitch these together. That's good. Can't do anything with that because that'll wrap. I need to get this and that one. I'll stitch, and then now I've got an overlap, but I got to put this one somewhere. Looks like the bottom works. So that one. And I'm just checking the other edge to see if it's near. If the edge is right next to the other one, I just stitch them both. So I'll just stitch them. Yeah. All right. These two are the same, so I'll go to object mode. Grab both of these. Let me go ahead and clear the history. And then I will go to my transform. So mesh, transform transfer attributes, options. Component, hit apply, and then we got to clear the history again, so edit, delete by type, history. So those teeth are the same. This one and this one, they're roughly the same object, so I'll just grab this and then that. And let's go ahead and go to mesh, transfer attribute, apply. We have to clear the history, so we'll do that again. So clear history. grab the next one, grab that one, apply it. We have to clear the history. And then this one and that one. Apply it, and then clear the history. Okay, and close that window. Duplicate these to the other side. So I'm going to take this one, and I'll go to this one, I'll get that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. I'm going to hit the combine tool. That's going to join all our teeth together. I'm going to go up to mesh. I'm going to come down to mirror, get the option box. In here, let's go ahead and do copy. We'll do this on world. And then I'll come down to, I don't need these to join together. I'll uncheck that and I'll just hit apply. Then I'll copy my teeth over. Yeah, so now I have a full mouth of teeth. Hooray! Before we make the top of the mouth, we're going to set these UVs. So go ahead and grab all these. Then I go back to my UV window. I'll just go ahead and click. There we go. I'm going to grab all of this. And I'll hit down here at the bottom. We'll go to Arrange and Layout. Scroll all the way down. Hit Layout. And that will lay out our mouth and all of our teeth. Nice. I can close that. And our two halves, we can join those. And then I'll go ahead and select the bottom. And I'll hit Combine. I'm going to name this teeth and then lower. I'll grab this, Control D to duplicate, E to rotate. I'm going to hold down J and just rotate this on top. So it's 180 degrees. It could be negative or positive, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take this one and move it up, like so. Now the upper section of the mouth is bigger than the lower section of the mouth. So you can see in this example here, we've got the lower teeth, these are closer together, upper teeth, these are bigger, and slightly overbite of the lower ones. So I'll go in here, I'll grab this, get my scale tool, take the middle, and I'll just middle scale this up, like so. I can probably go a little bit more. And that's close enough. So this gives a really rough mouth, but it's good enough for what we need. I'll just name this one Teeth Upper. And all the UVs and stuff are done on it because we did that already. We just duplicated. And the last thing we need to make for this will be the tongue. So I'll go back and grab my original object. I'll hit H to unhide. There it is. I'm going to hide the upper by selecting it and hitting H. I'm going to grab my duplicate. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control D to duplicate. I'll hide the original by hitting H. And I'll get the new one. I'll name it Tongue. And let's go ahead and move it into position. So the tongue is going to rest inside the mouth, right about in here, and be positioned roughly in there. I'm going to go ahead and grab the lower. I'll go ahead and hit H to hide it. And before I do anything extra with the tongue, I do want to reshape the topology because this will not be good for flexing. Okay, so I'm going to go into edge selection here. And I want to grab these diagonal edges on top and bottom. So this one, that one, that one, and that one. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So go to Object X. I'll grab that. So left and right, we're cutting all of them except for the straight ones. Okay, delete. I'm going to come down to the bottom, do the same thing. Get all the ones that are diagonal, delete. Okay, so we have straight across. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go over, I'm going to turn off my symmetry mode now. Get my multi-cut tool. I'm going to click to grab this point. And I come over across, click to grab that point. It's going to give me a straight line. And then right click to solve it. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Get that point. Come over to the side, click that point, right click to solve. Very good. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go ahead and get this point, come across, click that point, right click to solve it, get this one, come across, grab it, right click to solve. And now we want to do the top and bottom this way. So I've got one point here, and I come all the way across. I'm going to click, and I come over, I come down, I'm going to click, and go all the way around to the bottom underneath here, and then click the point, right click to solve. That's going to cut all the way through. I'll do the same thing over here. Now, of course, you could just mirror this instead of having to do it this way, but practice is perfect, so I'll go ahead and go around, get those. Let's go into a top view, and just to make this even, I'm going to go up and get vertex selection here. I'm going to grab all of these. I grab those, I'm going to hit R to scale, I'm going to scale it flat. W to get my move tool, I'm going to hold down the V key, and then I'm going to drag this and hover my mouse over right about here. And that's going to give me a straight line in here. I do the same thing on this side. So I'll grab these, R, I'll scale it flat, W, hold down the V key, drag the arrow, I'm going to move my mouse down to this point. That's going to straighten those off. Hey! Then I'll go to edge selection, and I grab these all the way around. Okay. Get my symmetry turned on. Hold shift, hold right click. We'll connect components. That'll split that edge for me. And then I will connect the corner of this. So here to there. I'm not worried that that's a triangle. I'll leave it alone. And there. And go to a top view. And if it bugs you that that's curved, you can always use the trick we just did to straighten them out. So just go ahead and grab the side, straighten, W to move it, hold down V, and I'll snap in line. And there we go. So we have the geometry necessary for making the tongue. Let's go ahead and bring back the mouth. I'll get my lower, hit H to turn it on. Get my tongue, I'll go into a top view. And I want to just scale this into position, so I hit R. And I'll grab my side scale and just pull that in. Okay, I can just pull this down, and then I can move that up front. And we have our tongue shape. Yay. And I'm going to thicken the tongue. I'll hit R, and I'll just scale it up. And I'll move the position down. And there we have our rough tongue. So I'll go ahead and turn my uppers on. And now we have our teeth. And we can remove all the other history. So I'll grab this, edit, delete by type, history. And you can see we have these additional transforms here. I'll go ahead and grab all these and just delete those. We should have our teeth, upper, lower, and tongue. And then we should do the UVs on the tongue. So I'll go ahead and grab that. Go to UV editor. I'm going to go to create. Come down to planar, get the option box. Take a projection from the top, which is Y, and I'll project. And there's our tongue. I'm going to minimize that. Go ahead and select the tongue and object mode here. And I do want to add a cut around the middle. So I'll go up to, let me get Tools, Insert Edge Loop here. You go to my tool settings. I'll set this to multiple edges and just go down to 1. And then I can click this edge here. Any of these edges is fine. And that'll just give me a center cut. Awesome. Let's go to edge mode. Select this edge here. You just double click it if you don't have it. We'll go back to UVs. Again, if it's not here, you can just click. And then if you ended up deselecting, just click it again. So make sure you have that outer edge. I'll come down to UV cut and hit cut. Now we have an upper and a lower section. I'll go to UVs, I'll double click, and I will pull this apart, grab them both. Let's unfold. Yay. grab all those in UV selection. Let's go down to layout, and there we have our tongue. Hooray! Okay, we can close that. Object mode. Let's go ahead and grab all this and then clear the history. So edit, delete by type, history. We'll save our work. And we need to export this so that we can bring it into whatever file. So I'll go to, make sure you have your teeth, upper, lower, and tongue selected. File, I'll come down to export selection. And then I'm going to go ahead and export this. This is going to be SM for static mesh _ teeth. And I'll go ahead and save that there. And that is going to do it for this video. And the next one, we're going to go ahead and start building Leon and Jill's mouth boxes. So stay tuned, save your work, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's Lame Duck Studios merch. Grab yourself a cool hat, sweater. You can always check out my Patreon, where you can get access to exclusive content just for my patrons, as well as videos ad-free ahead of time. Or pick up one of my books. The Life and Times of Dinah Marton is about a criminal psychologist who moonlights as a serial killer, and The Guardian's Path of Ascension is about 5 teens who realize they have the power of gods and have to save the universe. Both of those are available on Amazon. There are links down in the description. And The Guardians is going to be converted into a comic book. I'm working with my artist Patrick. We're pretty excited. We're shooting for an October release. You can see some of the work that's been done here. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.